Well, excellent. Hello, hello, and welcome everyone to our BG5 Live. Happy 2024. And we will start the Rave New Year here in a couple of weeks. Today is January 9th, and this is episode 1 of 2024. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It's great to have each and every one of you here with us today. And today we are going to take a look at the drive to start something new. At the beginning of the year, we actually start in trait 38, which is all about the fighter. So it's not really a good time to get things started. Now that we are in drive and the drive to begin something new, we're starting to feel that pressure to begin something new. So that's what we are going to be talking about today. So before we jump in and get started, let's say hello to our panel. So let's start with Natalie. Hey, Natalie, welcome.
Yay! Happy 2024, everybody! Don't get started just yet. We are working our way to to look back and contemplate. That's the English word I was looking for. And contemplate on the last year and what we want to. And then on the January 22nd is the actual energetic Rave New Year, which we will celebrate from Sofia in Bulgaria. But happy Gregorian calendar New Year.
Oh, thank you, Natalie. Great to have you here. And let's go to Boris. Hey, Boris, welcome.
Hey, Karen. Hello, everybody. From my side as well, a happy New Year 2024 Gregorian calendar. As Natalie just said, the new Rave year is not yet there. And I'm curious as well to talk about closing off 2023, which is the phase we should be in at the moment, with the ambition to start something new, which is exactly trait 54, and to begin the real new year on the 22nd of January this year. So yes. Let's talk about it.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Boris, for being here. And Shelley and Banu and Chris are still on vacation, so they will hopefully return next week. So we wanted to get the new year started, and we've had a couple week break. So we are going to dive in and take a look at trait number 54. So what you will want to do is make sure that you have your chart in front of you. If you don't, you can download your chart from the BG5businessinstitute.com. And what we are taking a look at is we're focusing on drive and stamina. And when we take a look at trait 54, it's part of drive and stamina. Also the 53, which is grounding it with new beginnings, is also in drive and stamina. This is also part of the strength of ambition. So the 5432 on the other side, the harmonic trait, this is the strength of ambition. So any of you who are live in our Zoom room, if you have trait 54, or if you have trait 52 or 32, which is the harmonic trait, or if you have the strength of ambition, we would love to hear from you today. So this is where you can find it in your chart. And so again, today, let's take a look at drive, the drive to begin something new. So when we take a look at trait 54, it is grounded by trait 53, and the life fork themes, if we take a look at if you were born during this time. So actually my birthday was on the 5th, right when we shifted into the 54. That is the life work theme of penetration, being able to penetrate below the surface. This is also being able to, in a sense, penetrate the auras of others to really get what's going on. So this is the life work theme of penetration. That's my own life work theme. We also have the life work theme of ambitions as well, ambition as well as cycles. This is all purpose fulfilled through transformation. So if you happen to be born around this time, again, you could have potentially one of these life work themes. Now, when we take a look at trait 54 of drive, this is interaction in the mundane social context, but also in one's mystical and cosmic relationships. So one of the very interesting things about trait 54 is both the most material, but it's also the most spiritual as well. Actually, we happen to be in trait 54 in quality 4 right now, which is in a sense both the alpha and the omega, both the lightness, enlightenment, and also in darkenment. So again, it is the most spiritual and the most physical. So in many respects, it is bringing, in a sense, inspiration, bringing heaven, if you will, to earth, and that marrying of what we see in the physical to, in a sense, how we feel also with our cosmic relationships. And one of the things about the 54 as well is it is about connections. It is about relationships, because it's taking a look at those relationships that, in a sense, will help you rise up the ladder, or those relationships that inspire you, empower you to even better yourself. And that's part of the drive. Now, it's grounded, interesting enough, by trait 53, which is all about beginnings. So this is where we start to contemplate, how do we want to start this new year? And remember, the new year, just as Boris and Natalie just spoke of, does not actually start until the 22nd of January. So this is really a time to look back. And, part of the energy right now is looking back and also seeing what relationships have you experienced in the past, and what relationships do you want to bring forward into the future. 54 is also a part of the new era that we're moving into. We're moving into the era of the individual. And in the era of the individual, the 54 is one of the traits of, as well as the 53, new beginnings, and 54 of drive. It really is a part of being an individual, of taking a look at who do we connect with that can really support us, again, in rising up the ladder, but even more so in sort of rising up within our mystical or cosmic relationships as well. So it is about, in a sense, like I said, bringing in a sense that divine, if you will, into the physical and the material world. And this is a great place to begin that as we move into 2024. So let's take a look at trait 54 so that we can start to discuss it. And we're going to take a look at it specifically in the context of business. And one of the beautiful things about BG5, since we are taking a look at relationships, BG5 is all about relationships. It's about, first of all and foremost, the relationship with yourself. Then it is, how do you connect with others in partnerships, in small groups, and also in large groups. And as we move into the era of the individual, how do you remain centered in yourself and who you are as an individual, yet being able to connect with other individuals? Again, whether it be in partnership or small groups or large groups, at a completely different level when you're truly being yourself. And so one of the things about trait 54, this is, in a sense, the pressure for the material way when we're talking about business. This is the ambition to rise up. So this is the tenacity for reaching a goal that brings the potential to be noticed by those in a higher position. And this is, for example, the person on the factory floor that eventually rises up and becomes the CEO. Trait 54 is also known as the marrying maiden. This is the concubine that rises up to become the empress. And so if you take a look at trait 54, if you turn it around, you ultimately get the 45. The 45 is the tribal leader. This is rising up, in a sense, again, from the factory floor, rising up to be the leader, to be the CEO, rising up to be the 45. And in a large group, this is the proper entry point into any organization. So whenever you enter into an organization, you must be properly trained to give you that opportunity, one, to be a part of the tribe, because this is very tribal, but also that recognition so that you can eventually rise up and better your position as you get more and more experience. And so with the proper entry point, especially if you have trait 54, this is one of the things or one of the roles that you could have potentially in a larger organization is a training role, especially training the newcomers as they come in. And one of the things about ambition is ambition needs direction. And so it instinctively is looking for someone who can help you, especially if you have trait 54, channel your ambition towards something of lasting value. Now, oftentimes when we think of ambition, when we think of drive, we think of it in an individual way where it's like, get out of my way, I'm going to go up the ladder and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get up that ladder. And it can sound very selfish. What's interesting, however, if we take a look at the 54, it is tribal, meaning that if it does not serve everyone, it serves no one. So if it is done in a selfish way, it is actually not working correctly. If the 54 can rise up, the 54 can also rise everyone else up and put everyone on the same playing field. Again, thus training the proper entry point so that everyone has the opportunity to be great and to rise up. And again, with trait 54, without this direction, especially if you have 54, the drive can turn into blind ambition. And again, the blind ambition has a tendency to also be very selfish as well. And again, if it is not benefiting the tribe, it's not benefiting anyone. And so this is one of those things about the drive to also keep in mind as well. So with that, I'd like to, and I would love to open it up for discussion. And I know, Boris, you have trait 54, so I'm wondering how that shows up for you.
It's this ambition, this drive, this wanting to reach something. It's always there. It's still somehow, sometimes not, I can't feel it, I can sense it. It's kind of hidden, and it pops out when I think back in my career, when I really met people that kind of hand-holded me and took me along, like being their mentee and they being my mentor. That worked brilliantly because that was a kind of mutual giving and taking, and that it was, well, according to my collaborative spirit in my design as well, actually what I needed. I need the exchange, and if that can be channeled, the energy that I have in my design into something that is, and for me, it's not so much tribal, it's rather for a bigger group, or really like the collective. But if I can like channel that energy with that drive into something that is meaningful and of value, that is as well going back to my generator design or builder design, to say, yes, I want to have a work that is meaningful and yeah, of value and is fun. And that is where I thrived. And that is, yeah, absolutely what was written on the last slide. You have shown all the bullet points I recognize, and when they appear, so it's not always there. It's kind of, I need a connection because I have only the trait, so it's kind of not always active. But when it gets activated, it's quite powerful. And it's quite powerful with setting ambitious goals for me and other people and kind of reaching them as well. And I think that is what I observed in my career, reaching the goals. Whatever I wanted to achieve, I achieved. I think this is coming from the 54 for me, the driver, ambition, reaching goals, and as well being seen by more superior people than in the hierarchies. Yes. Oh, Boris is always like over-delivering. Maybe I can do more, something different. So it's very interesting. And
yeah, I was just going to ask you, in a lot of the positions that you've held, have you felt that you've often been recognized and in a sense brought up the ladder or recognized for the position in one way or another, that it wasn't necessarily you going out to get it, that you were actually recognized for it and called out for it?
It was like being recognized for it. And whenever I turned it into ambitious goals that I spoke out and I was like doing marketing for it for myself or doing sales pitches and look at me, how good I am, it always failed. So it's this kind of waiting for it, waiting for the opportunity to come. It's, I think, is all embedded in my design, being like reacting to what comes, reacting to the opportunity that comes, and not forcing the opportunity. Just like this active waiting and keeping the eyes and the ears and the senses open, and it will happen. And then that ambition, that moving the needle, that comes to the forefront. But yeah, whenever I'm chasing it, I want to do something, I want to force something, I want to initiate something. Not my career type, not out of the 54. No, it doesn't work. I tried it many times already, but it's funny because I know we have like Carla and Daniele as well that have the full strength 54-32, and I would be curious to see how they realize their 54-32 connection actually, because that is really the ambition, the driver, the move, the do, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and thank you, Boris. A beautiful, beautiful example. And let's start with Carla. And Carla, you have the strength of ambition. You have the 54-32. How does that show up for you in your design?
Hi. I related a whole lot to what Boris shared. It's something that innocently is within me that I feel, well, it's not, when I chase recognition, which I shouldn't since I'm an advisor. But what I've done in the past, what's happened in the past when I've done that, it fails miserably. But there's always been a repetitive pattern in my career where I say, I just want to put my head down and work, and I don't want to be recognized. I don't want to be seen. And I get an individual contributor role. And lo and behold, someone from the higher ranks always recognizes me. And that used to really puzzle me until I discovered human design and BG5. I never understood it. I'm like, why don't these people leave me alone? I just want to put my head down and work, right? Um, and after discovering BG5, now I totally see the magic of this trait and how it plays out in my life. It's unconscious for me. Um, but I also have that feeling within me that I always want to evolve. I always want to, no, I wouldn't say improve myself, but I'm always seeking a higher learning, a continuous improvement for myself, but also for my tribe, which I have 5 children. So I would be like, aren't you guys excited? Someone recognized me at work and I don't know why, but this person wants to mentor me. And they're like, oh, okay, congratulations. And I'm like, no, it's for all of us. So I really get that feeling of success that I'm also bringing up other people with me or making their lives materially better so that I can provide more for them. But also in a spiritual sense, I really always want to ascend. And I don't do it just because there's a higher purpose to it. I don't know what it is, but it's just this feeling inside. It's almost like cellular memory that I'm supposed to be like this. And having the full strength, I do feel that I feel that very consciously. The 32 is very conscious, where I have this direction of where I want to transform something. I also am able to know who has or which talents I'm working with that I could really help transform their lives to, I don't want to say do better because that sounds weird, but like just to improve their lives in some way. And like I said in the beginning of the call, I started my new role and I said, wow, this is a perfect time. And I really feel it. I'm starting with a new team, and I have people reporting to me that I can automatically see, like, oh, this person would be great like this. Oh, I don't really think this person's in a good role, or I don't really think this person probably shouldn't be at this organization. It's not serving them or the organization well within like the first couple of days.
Wow.
And I think Natalie just asked if I have the 54.4. I actually have 54 .3, so covert interaction, and that's how I experience this trait, because it's usually I'm in a department just minding my business, and someone from another department or higher up will come up to me and say, hey, like, what's going on? And we have those semi or pseudo secret conversations about how they would like to make me more visible, or just take me under their wing, because they recognize my work.
Mm. Wow. Wow. Beautiful, Carla. And what a great example also in being an advisor of really being recognized and really being invited, and the role that you play, and being able to see the energies of who fits and who may not fit, and what role might work better for one person or another. And so really not only a beautiful example of the strength of ambition, but also as an advisor with the strength of ambition and how that works as well. Really beautifully shared, Carla. Thank you so very much.
I think if I just may add, it's what
Please.
Carla as well said, it must be recognized and invited, this strength. It's not that I can go out with it. Somebody else must see it, must invite, so to say, to bring it to the forefront. And then as well, the other sentence that Carla used, like the continuity aspect of the 32, like to see what is worth still doing and what can be dropped and how to move on. But it's just whatever she explained is absolutely in the strength of this 5432. So it's amazing when people start realizing that, oops, that's what I have, and that's what comes naturally to me. And that is the beauty of BG5 and or human design. It's the beauty of the intrinsic skills and strengths that come to the forefront. And it's just beautiful to listen to Carla and her example, because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Carla. And
Thank you.
Daniela. Oh yeah, Carla first, and then we'll go to Danielle.
No, I was just saying thank you. I just wanted to say one last thing. What Boris just said really resonated, because as soon as we started this call and everything that's happening within this week and this transit, I felt like, the aha again, like, oh, wow, this stuff is really real and it's so magical. And so it just reaffirms the beauty of this system and how it works in our daily lives. And it comes to a point where it's like, oh, this is not by mistake. This is really how I am designed, and just feeling really grateful for acknowledging that. So yeah, thank you for allowing me to share.
Yeah. Yeah, really beautiful, Carla. Thank you so, so very much. Yes, and Daniela, you have it also in your design. You also have the strength of ambition. I'm wondering how that shows up for you.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I have it in my design. I have it conscious. The 54 and the 32 and the 54 twice I saw. I didn't even know that. And I have the 45 unconscious. So there's a lot of happening there. And if I look back at my work situation, what Boris was saying, that you did not get, how did you say it? You got recognized, but if you thrive to something, then you don't get it. I have the same, and my ambition is always very high, but people don't see it at the start. So I have to do my work, and then people around me see it, and they push me a certain way. And informal, I have sometimes already the position in the organization, but not formally. So formal, I don't have the job title or whatever, but informal, I'm working the ranks. And that always happened. And then other people will come up with, hey, could you do this position, or could you do that position? And then it will flow. If I ask for it, then it doesn't come to me. So that's very interesting. I didn't know it had to do with these gates and traits and all that.
Yeah.
But at the moment, this is also in the background, this energy, and I'm not in a corporate environment. I'm looking to go work for myself, so to say. And this ambition and this drive is so big at the moment. It's like, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. And I'm trying to sit down and say, relax, it's coming towards me. I'm putting my stuff out. I tell people what I want to do, and hopefully in the weeks that are coming, things will come to me. But I can feel this energy in the background. So yeah, that's very interesting this week and last week. And you said also something, I think it's on the slide before, about the tribe and get to know a lot of people, or
I
getting
think I
contact.
probably just said that. Yeah.
Yeah, relationships. And I just did a trip to the States and went back to where I've been working for a while, 30 years ago. And that energy is there, very, very cool. And I reconnected with a lot of people. So maybe that background energy was there for me also when I was there. So it's a lot of things are coming together.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much, Danielle. And again, you can see the power of this drive, and when you are using the drive and ambition in the improper way, it also doesn't it doesn't materialize. It doesn't show up in the way that you want it to work. And so I think it's really brilliant to start to see how these traits really operate, and that patience to wait for that recognition. Most of the jobs that I have had, I've never applied for the jobs. It's always someone who's recognized me that said, "Oh, you would be great for this. Oh, you should have this position." That I ended up getting that job. So I see that that recognition showing up in that way, and it's how I've gotten most of the positions that I've had in my career as well. Beautiful. Anyone else who is here live, if you have trait 54, or Natalie, you have 32 on the other side. So you have continuity, the 32 that makes up the strength of ambition, the harmonic trait to the 54. I'm curious how that shows up for you.
Yeah, so it's very interesting because I actually connect with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is also how we started.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the very first webinar in the announcement of the institute starting, and you were there among Linda Benell and others, right? And you presented a little bit, and I was like, wow. And I knew design. I never continued forward. I just did living your design. Multiple reasons, but one of the reasons it didn't really call me. And then, the webinar of the BG5 Institute was just like, wow, yeah, this is, now I can share this information, etc., etc. So I booked a full analysis with you because I wanted to know. I was also studying NLP. If I could be a coach, right? If I could be an entrepreneur, and we had this full analysis, and it was just click, click, click. And I said, I want to study BG5. I want to be in your course, and you were yes, yeah, you have to be in my course. But I had to do multiple things still, like the foundation, right? So we kind of arranged that, and you kind of arranged that I could start with you.
And you kind of also helped me up in growing in the institute and becoming a teacher. And I worked from the very start with you in the back end, and then also being able to contribute to the materials and etc. Right? But also ending up doing my role. So the 32 on the other side is kind of the personnel manager. Not that I literally did this, but every now and then when, it's been 6 years, right? 8 years. So every now and then when, we had people leaving from our team or coming back to the team or whatever, or new people deciding on new people, I would just bluntly or whatever say something about this person, like what also Danielle and Carla shared. You can instantly kind of sense, this person has that person can do that, he doesn't really get anywhere, or he's more interested in so and so. So I kind of did that kind of with you, and then you did like the training and getting the new people on the job, etc. So also having one side and the other side, and collaborating in that sense is beautiful if you can each do your own role, right? So yeah, I truly experienced it firsthand with you how this operates.
Yeah. And that's one of the beautiful things about the connection. If you have the trait, and I'm curious how this shows up for you, Boris, as well. If you have the trait, but you don't have the harmonic trait, so you don't have the 32, in working with someone who has the harmonic trait, it's like you have the full strength when you are working together. And when each of you stay in your lane, when each of you do the job that you're designed to do, just like Natalie was sharing, it brings it to a whole other level where you can work together and, like I said, take advantage of that strength. Whereas if you only have the trait, it really is only activated when you can connect with others in that way. So I'm curious how that shows up for you, Boris.
It's actually, I wouldn't be able to say, because in my still working in the large corporation, I wasn't aware of human design. I felt kind of possibly connection to people that I could relate to easily. And I had one or two really more senior people that kind of supported me in progressing in career steps and so on. That I asked as well for advice if a new position was due or something like that. And I can't say if they had possibly the 32 and there was a connection, and but there was something. I realized though I was quite often overambitious and pushing it too far, and that is really thinking back when I realized that my mind tricked me, that I was building my dream castles of, if I do this and then that and then that job and then that position and moving from here to here, then I will get to this director position with the company car with additional shares and da da da. So it was money driven, absolutely money driven. And it never worked. It was, I could push it. It was like I wanted to move the Mount Everest with a little pinky finger. It was just not possible. And so I could not answer the question whether there is something that I feel. And now working and exchanging with Natalie, I think I have to see whether there is something. There is definitely ambition and a kind of connection. I'll pay attention to it. I know though that there are some other traits that I have with people that are really close to me in my physical surrounding energy, where we do connect up traits to make strengths. But there are other strengths that are sometimes a bit more painful, like emotional waves and things like that suddenly kick in a partnership, which is a different story. But I could definitely relate to what Daniele and Natalie and Carla were saying with either sides. It feels right. It sounds right to me, and I think this is what 54 is about. It's something for I still will call it like contractual agreement. I help you, you help me, kind of, that brings it as well forward where you need other people. It's not for myself. It's something in collaboration with somebody. It's a mutual, like, pushing, pulling, pushing, pulling, pushing, pulling to move up. I think this is for me how I experienced the 54. And it's funny as well, because when I read, like, I have 54-4, so really the mystical position, the alpha and the omega, and reading the description is like, okay, what is it now? It's a bit weird sometimes. So yeah, but it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Boris. And I think what you were talking about with the pushing and pulling, this is part of both being tribal, right? That it really is supporting the tribe, and it is about rising everyone up. It is the pressure to rise everyone up, and it is the pressure that really kicks off that material way. Beautiful. Well, anything that anyone would like to share before we wrap up for today?
Karen, on that last part, that is the most fun to do, to rise others up. At least I feel that. I love doing that. I love seeing people doing their work and push them a little and say, hey, but you know you can do that, or have you thought about that? Or and it has nothing to do with me, has nothing to do what my ambition is. It's what I can see in the others that they can do for the company or for the project or for whatever we're doing. That really I turn on that. So that resonates with what you just said.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Danielle. And yes, Carla, if there's something else that you wanted to add too, I saw you typed in the chat.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's my favorite part too. And when I do it for other reasons, it doesn't work out. But I think that especially as an advisor, having this strength is or this trait and also the strength is very helpful, because I do see the potential in others, but this adds a different flavor. It's almost like being able to see how I can transform someone's life through empowerment, or empowering them on steroids, basically. So I think that it really lends to my type as an advisor as well.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Carla, and really giving people that support in order to rise up. Excellent. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. It has been an amazing discussion. And again, we can see that this is also a part of the era of the individual, this ambition to rise up. And in moving into the era of the individual, it's often also considered the sleeping phoenix and awakening the sleeping phoenix. So being able to rise up in that way as well, to rise up from the ashes and to create something new. And in just a week, we're a week away from the Human Design Rave Festival. You can attend live. You can also attend online. They do now have specials as well if you want to specifically take a look at just a few speakers. So I think there's a package that you can just tap into a few speakers. You can just do one individual speaker. So I would invite you both. Natalie's going to be there live. I'm going to be there online. Also, Iwan is going to be talking about BG5 as well, and doing a Penta experiment and experience. So would love to have you join us, whether you can at the last minute be there live or whether you attend online. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So please come join us. And also we have our courses that are starting in January. So we have the foundation course that I will be starting at the end of January. We also have the foundation course in Italian, in Japanese, and Romanian that's also getting started here in January. We'll have another foundation course starting in March. and one in Chinese starting in May. Also, if you've already taken the foundation course, you can start the BG5 consultant certification program with Tuck Self, and she's going to be starting here next week on January 17th. So invite you to join her. And if you've already done the foundation and certification, I invite you to join myself and also Natalie in the OC16. And OC16 is part of what Natalie's going to be presenting at the Rave Festival as well. So understanding the dynamics, the large group dynamics. So I'd love to have you join us. And again, if you are new to BG5, a strategy session is a great place to start. So you can go to services and find BG5 services right at the very top. You can have a strategy session with one of our instructors. So invite you to join us. So thank you, everyone. Next week, we are going to take a look at inner truth, and inner truth is found in the details. So if those of you that are here live, if you'd like to turn on your camera, we would love to see all of your faces. And with all of that, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And if you want to unmute yourself and say goodbye, we will sign off for today, and we'll see you all next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
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 Bye. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.